Oops, I forgot the countdown. Sorry, everybody, I forgot the countdown. It's me by myself sitting here for a second. I'm going to say hi to Adele, just if I can type in English. Hi, who all is out there in Chatland. So right now we are going to continue with our reading of the story of King David. Look at me, I didn't put the cursor back where it needs to go. We are reading the story of King David in Hebrew. קריאת סיפורו של דוד המלך בשפת כנען. With me today are a couple of people, but it looks like both of them has disappeared from camera. So I can't exactly pull it up. There's James, but waiting for Colton to come back. Where'd he go? He told me it was time to start, and then he disappeared. I apologize for that. It didn't hit the 30-second thing. I can do that if anybody wants. I think Colton was expecting 30 seconds, so he went to get something to drink or something. Okay, well, I guess I'll throw me and James up there, and Colton will be back in a second. Howdy, James, out there on the road.
Shalom.
We're ready for reading some Hebrew, huh? I hope you'll get in a place where you're safe, where you're not driving. And
5 minutes, I'll be home.
All righty. And Colton will be back with us in just a second. Again, we are starting on verse 40 of chapter 20. And today we will certainly accomplish. Muriel is out there saying hi too. So Muriel says hi, and Adil said hi before. If anybody else is out there, please say hi. My mom is supposed to join us, but she's not dependable. Muriel says hi to James and Colton as well. So we're going to start today in verse 40 of the chapter we've been working on. But before we do, we want to acknowledge our patron users, Patreon friends. Elena and Jason Kirkpatrick are super members. Haven't seen Elena in a few weeks, so I'm wondering what's going on. I'll try to contact her. It would be nice to have her back. She likes to read and be engaged with the grammar and stuff. And then we got a slew of members over there. Let's see, that's 3, 6, 7, 14. 14 members on our Patreon whom we very much appreciate. Notice that James as a Sing Greek and Hebrew and Colton are both over there on our members list. So thank you guys very much. Very much appreciate it. News from the Hebrew Cafe. This is the Luach Zmanim that we've been using. That is the schedule we've been using recently. Mondays is our first hour for reading Hebrew. Second hour is beginning Hebrew 101. We're really progressing in the grammar at this point. We're almost to lesson 20. And then we got the third hour for our Patreon users for communication in Biblical Hebrew. And then on Thursday at 6:30, we have our second and a half hour, which is the homework review for Shio. This week, we're going to be covering, hopefully, both lessons 16 and 17 because I happen to be absent on Thursday. I apologize for that. That's why I wrote this, Imachem Aslicha, meaning that the pardon is with you, meaning I've committed a sin, and the pardon is on your side for you to forgive me if you would. So basically, I was absent on Thursday because I got sick and I couldn't be here. Colton, welcome back.
Thanks.
James says he should be home in a minute, and then he'll join us on screen. So we have accomplished Ruth chapter 4, the genealogy of David, 1 Samuel 16, 17, 18, 19. Today we're going to finish chapter 20 and maybe also 21. 21 is a short chapter. And then we'll skip 22 next week and go into 23. So this is our schedule as we stand right now with the reading of David. I want to look really quickly at this verb that has garnered a lot of attention, obviously, in groups that talk about Hebrew language and whatever. The verb, if we take it from the past tense, is normally referred to as hishtachava. Hishtachava. If you hear anybody talk about it, they're going to talk about Ishtachava. I should mention real quick that Jonathan, if anybody is a person of prayer, you could say a prayer for Jonathan's mother. She's not doing so well, and his family's going through it right now. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers if that's your thing. Ishtachava, he bowed down. They also, a lot of people translate it as worshipped, to bow down or worship. It's normally said somehow that the root, because this verb is confusing, the root maybe is shachav, like this, or shacha, in some kind of weird computation. Nowadays, we recognize that in Ugaritic, the old cognate language, the old Semitic language, that there was a binyan, a root called lehishta. This whole thing belongs to the root, the hishta, and then to the stem, and then the root would be pei ayin lamed. So this is pei. So hishtaf el. Hishtaf el is the binyan. It's this is the only root. We would now say that the root is chet vav yod, and that this root appears in this stem. It's the only root in biblical Hebrew that appears in this stem, hishtaf el. But this root hishtaf el is, or the not root, the binyan hishtaf el is used for other roots in Ugaritic, which is why we understand now that that's where it belongs, how it should be classified. That the hishta is part of the binyan, and then the root is chet vav yod. So let's go over the sounds of it. Hishtachava, he bowed down. We go to me, and it's a hey, third hey or third yod verb. So it's hishtachaveti. Hishtachaveti means I bowed down. Notice that the cha in this is an echo vowel. It's echoing the patach here. So if we ended up in a situation where we don't need a vocal shva here, then that echo vowel will disappear. So hishtachaveti, hishtachaveta, hishtachavet, hishtachava. Now we end up in a situation where we don't need an echo vowel, and it's hishtachavta. Hishtachavta. Hishtachavenu, we did. Hishtachavenu. Hishtachavtem. Hishtachaveten. Hishtachavu. Hishtachavu. What makes it weird is that we're not used to long stems or long roots in Hebrew, that we're used to verbs being really short. Baniti, banita, baninu. And because of this hishta before the root, it makes it really long. Hishtachavenu. It's very long. The present tense or the participle seems pretty natural. Mishtachave, mishtachava, mishtachavim, mishtachavot. The infinitive is simply lehishtachavot, lehishtachavot. Okay. The future, yishtachave. Notice again that the past ends in a and the future ends in a. That's common. So bana, he built, but yivne, he will build. Okay, so I will do it. I will bow down. Eshtachave. Eshtachave. This appears in the Psalm, saying, I will bow down to his holy temple. Eshtachave el echal kodshecha. I will bow down to your holy temple, or in the direction of it. Tishtachave. Tishtachavi. Yishtachave. Tishtachave. Again, these two forms are always the same. Okay, nishtachave, tishtachavu, tishtachavena, yishtachavu, tishtachavena. These forms are always the same. Okay, then we have special remarks at the bottom. I'd like to look. Oh, well, we got the imperatives first. Hishtachave, hishtachavi, Hishtachavu, hishtachavena. It sounds a lot like the future because that's what it's built on. I want to comment quickly on what we've got going on at the bottom. So I will I'll pull that, I think, onto a Word document. Let me just copy that. I'll just copy this over and we'll talk about it on Microsoft Word. Hold on a second. How's everybody's doing out there? Because I'm just like talking to myself. Got anything to say?
Good.
Is this one of your favorite verbs ever?
Shalom li.
Is this one of your favorite verbs ever?
קפצתי לשמוע את הדברים האלה.
Well, let's see. So I'll make it bigger and then we will get started. Just going over this real quick, what I want to say, and then we'll see where it fits into our reading today. We'll throw 1.5. Okay, so the future we said is yishtachave. Okay, so yishtachave. All right. To make, let's think of the future of he built bana. The future is yivne. Okay, yivne. If we want to add the vav consecutive, we say vayiv. Okay, vayiv. With the a ending, we're going to drop that a and come up with like the final form. Vayivn becomes vayiven. Okay, so this is a segulate construction. The same thing is going to happen here where we have it ends in a. Okay, so we're going to add our va with the dagesh, vayishtachave. And then we have this situation where remember that this is echo vowel. It's as if it was vayishtach with a W on the end or a V on the end. In ancient Hebrew, vav was a W. That's how we need to think of it. Vayishtach w. With that W on the end, we need to resolve the consonant cluster, the chet and W. We do that by turning it into a vav, shuruk, u. Vayishtach u, and then we just drop the shva altogether. Vayishtachu. Vayishtachu, it means and he bowed down. So it's the same as, okay, it's the same as hishtachava, but it's the narrative past. Oops. Ish. If I can get my computer to recognize that I'm typing a 0, I need a new keyboard really bad. Ish. Ta ha va. Like I don't know if I hit the 0 or not. Like it doesn't lock down for me. Hishtachava means he bowed down, and vayishtachu, notice the single vav, vayishtachu means and he bowed down. It is the vav, the vayiktol, the vav consecutive. Vayiktol, the vav consecutive. Okay, and he bowed down. So we see also that's the first one when we see ishtachava goes to vayishtachu. So similarly, hishtachaveta and hishtachavta, the she did it, sorry, is the same vatishtachu. Vatishtachu. It's because tishtachave becomes vatishtachu, and those forms are the same. And the last one we need to be aware of is that when it's in the plural, yishtachavu, that's already broken up. So there's no need to break it. Hold on, I'll show you. There's no need if we add the va. There's no need to resolve anything. Yishtachavu, they will bow down. In the vav consecutive is vayishtachavu. Notice that double vav indicates the plural, and the single vav is read as shuruk. Vayishtachu is singular. I know that that's a little different from normal, but that's how this verb works. The vayiktol is vayishtachu and vayishtachavu. Okay, so that's what I wanted to point out before we get into the reading today. I know, not fun, but for me it's fun, even though it's not for you. All right, so with that, we should be able to go into the reading. Let's cut to
Yay, reading.
We're starting in verse 40. Yay! We're starting in verse 40. We have 3 verses to cover in chapter 20. I hope we should be able to get through chapter 21 with not too much difficulty. So verse 40. Vayiten Yehonatan et kelav el hana'ar asher lo. So this is, if you'll notice, the indirect object has been moved outside of the subject and verb clause, even the direct object. And instead of la na'ar, it's el hana'ar. So this is really a big separation. Vayiten Yehonatan et kelav el hana'ar asher lo. We could say Vayiten Yehonatan la na'ar et kelav. But they've moved it out of the normal phrase order so that it could be paired with asher. Jonathan gave his instruments, his vessels, his whatever it was, that would be his bow and his arrows, I think in this case, to the boy who was with him. And the boy means the servant. Na'ar is another word for a slave or a servant. I think in one of these verses, BHS says that there are, I'm going to try to find it, that there are there are manuscripts that instead of saying the boy, say almo, his young man. It's verse 38. Verse 38 where it says Hana'ar, Vayikra Yonatan acharei Hana'ar. Jonathan called after the lad. Instead of Hana'ar in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says Almo, his young man, Elim. Elim and Na'ar play back and forth in this text. Okay, Vayomer lo, and he said to him, Vayomer lo, Lech have ha'ir. Have is the imperative. Normally it's written without the yod. Have. Have ha'ir means bring, without a directional, bring to the city. So he says to him, go, bring to the city, meaning bring these vessels that I've just given you back to the city. I don't need them anymore. I'm done hunting. Take them to the city. Okay? Should be pretty clear. At any time, if there are questions, post them in the live chat and we will get to them. All right. Verse 41. Who wants to take that one?
I will.
Yalla tikra.
Hana arba ודוד קם מעצר הנגב, ויפול לאפיו ארצה, וישתחו 3 פעמים.
Where's the stress on that word?
ישתחו.
Vaishtahu. Yeah, that's the word that we were just going over. Vaishtahu.
פעמים וישקו איש את רעהו, ויבכו איש את רעהו עד דוד הגדיל.
Yeah, so the ish et re'eu, it's really important that it not be paused. I know that this thing looks like it's a pause marker, like it breaks the words apart, but it really doesn't. This is munach legarme, munach revi. It's one phrase.
Yeah, it was more just a fact of like getting my eyes over there.
Okay.
Yeah. It was not intentional. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, right.
All right. So the lad went quickly. The lad hurried up, and David came from beside the Negev, from the south, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
From the south side. David's one of them guys. He's a OG. And he fell to his face toward the ground, and he bowed 3 times. And each man kissed his friend, and each man wept together But David did the greater. David all the more. Something
That's
like
what the
that.
translations say.
Yeah.
Until David grew.
Until
David
grew.
exceeded.
Yeah.
David exceeded. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. That is a problematic expression. The Septuagint didn't know what to do with it, so it translated it until a great completion. Heos centeles megales, if I remember correctly. Not very clear. Most translations will have footnotes saying the Hebrew for this expression is unclear. Because it's not clear. So, what's it mean until David made bigger? I don't know what that means. Yeah. Okay, verse 42. James, you want to take it?
ויאמר יהונתן לדוד לך לשלום אשר נשבענו שנינו אנחנו בשם אדוני לאמור אדוני יחיה ביני וביניך ובין זרעי ובין זרעך עד עולם.
That lech l'shalom is a nice way to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Lech l'shalom.
Jonathan said to David, go in peace or with peace, something like that, which the two of them swore.
Not them. Asher here should be read like ki.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, the two of us swore in the name of the Lord, saying, "The Lord be with the Lord. The Lord will be. The Lord will be between me and between you, and between my offspring and your offspring forever."
Yeah.
Let
Again, this just to recognize, this is munach, legarme, munach. Revi. It's exactly the same combination that we have here. No, for some reason, when munach is doubled, it's got this separative line called legarme. When I was learning to chant Torah, we just ignored it, and we would read munach, munach, revi. So we would ignore that mark, but that is it goes with the munach. It's not something like a great divider. It looks like a huge divider to us, but it's really not. All right. Good. We have this pausal form. We're used to saying vayelech, so let's look at that. Vayakom vayelach vihonatan ba ha'ir. Again, we would say El Ha'ir, or there's no directional here, but it says he got up and went, and Jonathan entered the city. Vayakom vayilach vihonatan ba ha'ir. He entered the city. All right, verse 2, back to Ko'on.
Vayavo David Nove. El Achimelech HaKohen, Vayecherad Achimelech Likrat David. ויאמר לו, מדוע אתה לבדך ואיש אין איתך? So David came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech shook to meet David, when meeting David, maybe. And he said to him, "Why are you by yourself and no man is with you?"
So like I said, that vayelech is pause. What about this one? Why is itach instead of itcha?
Because it's pause too.
Because it's also in pause. Pause is normally expressed with sof pasuk, which we have here, with etnachta or etnach, as here. and a lot of times with katon, zakif katon, this little one that looks like shva, and also with revi'i, which is the one that we said was munach revi'i. So that is also often with pause. It doesn't have to be expressed, but it often is. The word knob, which is what the translations say, David entered knob, nov. For some reason in Hebrew it's not nov, but nove. I don't know why they don't just say nove or nope or something like that, but that's what we have in the text, nove. Vayavo David nove. All right. Verse 3, James.
Vayomer David לאחימלך, הכהן, המלך ציווני דבר, ויאמר אלי, איש אל ידע מאומה את הדבר אשר אנוכי שולחך,
שולחך.
ואשר ציוויתיך, ואת הנערים יודעתי אל מקום פלוני אלמוני. Yay, I got to say פלוני אלמוני. All right. David said to Ahimelech, the priest, the king commands me a matter, and he said to me, a man does not know anything, the matter which I'm sending you.
Excuse me, it's not doesn't know. Al yeda is
let him not know.
Let not know. Let
Yeah.
a man not know, or let no one know.
Yeah. Let a man not know the matter which I am sending you, which I command you and the servants, and the servants. And then that's something like to designate to a place, such and such a place. Something like that. I don't know. I know we discussed that word. But...
Halot suggests that instead of yodati, it should be noadati. So I have arranged with the servants to the place of Ploni Almoni. And noadati is like I've set a time, like I've arranged a time with them.
Again, the connection that helped me was like the tent of meeting, the appointed times being moed. That was the connection that helped me with the idea.
Ohel moed. Tent of meeting. So this is written as a po'al of the verb yada. But halot, which is the standard lexicon, Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament, says that when you look up yada, and it tells you that it's po'al, they say that you should read it. This is RD, to be read as noadati. That's what it says, right, Colton?
Mm-hmm.
To be read as noadati instead of yudati. But in the text itself, like in the Aleppo Codex, if it exists, I don't know. Whatever, the codices don't have a kri mark. They don't say that you need to read it differently. They don't say to read it like this. But Halot says it should be read that way, and I would tend to agree with them. Anyway, verse 4 says, Ve'ata, ma yesh tachat yadcha? Hamisha lechem tna v'yadi, o hanimtza. BHS suggests reading instead of ma yesh. They suggest reading ha yesh, do you have? So they would say that this would all be read together. Do you have is there under your hand 5 pieces of bread? as a question. And then as the imperative, give in my hand. In other words, give it to me. Or whatever is found. Hanimtsa. What is found? What is the thing found? If we read it as written, we would stop with tachat yadcha. And then we would pair this with the imperative. What is under your hand? What is in your hand? What do you have at hand? 5 breads, give to me, give in my hand. Or what is found? Okay, so we can read it either way, but BHS suggests an imitation, changing ma yesh to ha yesh. Okay. Verse 5, back to Goten.
ויען הכהן את דוד ויאמר אל לחם חול אל תחת ידי, כי אם לחם קודש יש, אם נשמרו הנערים אך מאישה. So, and the priest answered David, and he said, there is no bread in my possession except the holy bread, if the young men had been kept from a woman. Certainly been kept from a woman, someone like that.
Meaning that on their journey, since they've been out on this expedition, they have not been sexually promiscuous.
Sure.
Yeah.
Active.
They haven't been doing anything sexual. All right. Verse 6. And I think the idea would be, of course, that they are away from their wives. Their wives are at home, so they should not be out doing things in brothels and to women that they have overpowered. So in other words, they keep themselves pure sexually.
Ready?
Yeah.
ויען דוד את הכהן ויאמר לו, כי אם אישה צורה לנו, כתמול שלשום בצאתי, ויחיו כלי הנערים קודש, וכו דרך חול, ואף כי היום יקדש בכלי. So David answered the priest, and he said to him, unless a woman, this is like abstain, what is this? Atzal?
She's kept.
Okay. Unless a woman is kept from us.
So it's not unless, but
rather, something like that.
But rather. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but rather. Okay, yeah. But rather, or instead, a woman kept from us according to 3 previous days in my going.
Like yesterday, 2 days ago. Like yesterday, two days ago, which is an expression meaning like in the past, until now, something like this. Yeah. Let's try to look it up and see what it says exactly in Halot. Small. It's going to say, I'm going to float this window. Pull it over here. Okay, so tmol is the word for yesterday. We say etmol. Etmol and tmol are the same thing. So this is etmol. Okay, tmol v'ayom, yesterday, today. Gam tmol, gam ayom. Tmol anachnu, we are a yesterday. Let's see, shilshom, okay? Normally it means the day before yesterday. So other instances are always linked with shilshom. So such instances will be simply listed here without translation. What it means here, gam mitmol, gam mishilshom, meaning never in the past. Never have I been eloquent. So I think it refers to always in the past. Okay, so we have always kept ourselves from women when I have gone out.
Okay,
Gone out like in an expedition.
and the vessels of the servants are holy.
Hmm.
And
Do you think that means vessels like the private vessels?
I think that's a good implication.
Meaning that they keep
Intuition.
themselves in
Yeah.
abstention. They
Mhm.
don't participate in these things.
Mm-hmm.
והוא
Yeah.
דרך
Now
חול.
this section, if the way of something unconsecrated, so even if the way is the journey is unconsecrated or something like that,
Mhm.
but
So that's like they keep their vessels holy, and that is on a non-holy expedition.
mhm. But when the day is, or when the time essentially is to be a sanctified one, then I don't know, Bakali. I mean, like I'm assuming it's just the contrast of what he said before. So it is a sanctified vessel.
Yeah, let's see how they handle this in the translation. But yeah, you're definitely right. What verse is this? Verse 6. He says, or verse 5, excuse me. Women have been kept from us, as always when I go on an expedition. The vessels of the young men are holy, even when it is a common journey. How much more today will their vessels be holy?
How much more
Like,
today?
Yeah, how much more? This is the effect of the Kal Vachomer reasoning in Mishnah, in the rabbinic literature. If that's how they behave for a regular expedition, then how much more today would he be holy in his vessel? How much more today would he be holy in his vessel? Meaning that that he would, on a holy journey like this, certainly be abstaining. All right, verse 7. Vayiten lo hakohen kodesh. He gave him a holy thing, meaning the bread. כי לא היה שם לחם, כי אם לחם הפנים המוסרים מלפני אדוני לשום לחם חום ביום הילקחו. Lechem chom doesn't, we would say chom means bread, but chom also means heat, not bread. Chom is brown, the color brown. But chom is also heat. Chum, brown. Chom, heat, cham, hot. All these words. Lechem chom is bread of heat. So the idea is that every day the bread would be changed out. It says the priest gave him holy thing because there was no bread there except for the bread of presence, the one removed from before the Lord to put bread of heat, hot bread, biyom hilakcho. The day that is taken away means when it is taken. So when the bread is taken, hot bread is placed in its instead of it, and that bread that was taken away is the one that he gave to David. That's not normally something you would do. Hamusarim here means from lasir, to take away, or lasir or laser. Musarim, taken away from before the Lord. Musarim milifnei Adonai. Lasum is like lasim, to put, to place. Lasum lechem chom, bread of heat. All right. Pretty straightforward. We don't have much in this chapter. I don't remember how many verses. We can look really quickly. There are 16, and we are on verse 8. So we might accomplish the whole thing today. All right, Colton, verse 8.
ושם איש מעבדי שאול ביום ההוא נעצר לפני אדוני, ושמו דואג האדוני. Abir Haroim Asher Leshaul. Okay. And there was a man from the servants of Saul in that day. And he was, what did we say this word meant?
Detained.
Detained before the Lord. And his name was Doeg, the Edomite. Great among the shepherds, great of the shepherds of Saul was he.
Okay. Maybe the chief shepherd.
Yeah.
Great. Ish me'avdei Shaul. Netzal. Look at that with the ayin with the silent shva. That's fun. Netzal. Netzal. Great. All right. And James for verse 9.
ויאמר דוד לאחימלך, ואין יש פה תחת ידך חנית או חרב, כי גם חרבי וגם כלי לא לקחתי בידי, כי חיה דבר המלך נחוץ. David said to Ahimelech, so there.
It's funny because it looks like it says Ve'in.
I know. I was going to say that's what
Ve'in
throwing me
yesh.
off, but I'm assuming it's just there is not here under your hand a spear or a sword. Makes sense. I don't know.
I don't really understand the BHS on this. Maybe you can work it out for me. Plur manuscripti. That means probably an abundance of manuscripts, many manuscripts. Pluribus.
Yeah.
De Rossi. I don't know what De Rossi is. They read Ve'en. Ve'en. And it says compare the Syriac that says late or late. Late means there is not. It says in the Septuagint, ide look, if there is. Behold, if there is. And it says, okay, B doesn't matter because it's gum instead of vegam. So I'm not sure why it says plures manuscripti, many manuscripts read ve'en instead of ve'in. But the Septuagint doesn't read it that way. It says ide a.
The context makes sense because he goes on to say that for maybe even if or for my sword and my vessel I did not take. So
I would read this probably as instead of in, like im. Im. Im meaning if, yes or no. Im yesh bo tachat yadcha chanit o charev. Do you have under your hand a spear or a javelin or a sword? Like it seems that this is im. That's it would make better sense than en yesh. There is not, there is. There is not, there is. Like it's not a good read. Anyway.
All right. So then I did not take in my hand for the word of the king. Okay, now I've never seen nachutz, but is this related to chutz outside?
Nachutz. Let's see. No, this is not from outside. No.
Okay.
From nachatz. Nachutz. It says maybe read it as lachutz, like urgent or pressured.
Okay. So then, when the king, for the matter of the king or the word of the king, is pressured or was urgent or something. Oh, that's why he didn't bring any urgent. Sword or spear. Yeah, because
he wanted
the matter
to go
was
quickly.
Urgent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you have here under your hand a spear or sword? For both my sword and my instruments, I didn't take by my hand or in my hand. because the word of the king was urgent. All right, verse 10. ויאמר הכהן חרב גוליית הפלישתי אשר הכית בעמק האלה, הנה היא לוטה ושמלה אחרי האפוד, אם אותה תיקח לך כך, כי אין אחרת זולתה בזה. בזה means here, in this place. ויאמר דוד, אין כמוה תננה לי. All right, so the priest said, חרב גוליית, the sword of Goliath הפלישתי, the Philistine, אשר הכית, which you smote, בעמק האלה, in the valley of Elah. Behold, it is לוטה. לוטה ושמלה אחרי האפוד. I'm not familiar with the
Luta,
luta.
is that like a blade or something?
I don't think so. Let's see. It says enwrapped. Enwrapped as a called passive participle of lut. It's lamed vav tet. Lalut, to enwrap. Okay. Behold, it is enwrapped in a garment. Behold, behind the ephod, the breastplate. Probably the breastplate of Goliath also. If you would take it for yourself, take it. Because there is no other apart from it. En acheret zulata. Zulata apart from it. Bazeh, here. There is no other apart from it in this place. And David said, there is none like it. Give it to me. Tnenali, give it to me. Okay. Verse 11 for Colton. Where to go? He says he'll be back momentarily.
And yeah. All right, I'll take it. What is it? 11?
It's 11.
ויקום דוד ויברח ביום ההוא מפני שאול ויבוא אל אכיש מלך גת.
Remember who was from Gat?
Goliath?
Goliath was from
Yeah.
Gat. So he comes to Gat.
So David arose and fled on that day from the presence of Saul, and he came to Achish, king of Gat.
Achish. All right. So he comes to Gat. ויאמרו עבדי אכיש אליו, הלא זה דוד מלך הארץ, הלא לזה יענו ומחולות לאמור, היכה שאול באלפיו ודוד ברבבותיו. So the servants of Achish said to him, is this man not David, the king of the land? Is not to this one they would answer in their dances, cholot, dances or songs, I guess it would be, in their songs, saying, Saul has struck his thousands, and David his myriads, his tens of thousands. So this song that we heard before of that was being sung, that Saul has killed his thousands and David his tens of thousands, has spread to the other nations around, and they are starting to think that David is greater than Saul, that he is the king of Israel. All right, verse 13 until Colton comes back.
וישם דוד את הדברים האלה בלבבו, וירא מאוד מפני אכיש מלך גת. David put these words in his heart, and he feared greatly from the presence of Achish, king of Gat.
Yeah. Gath. Good. He was very afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. But why would that be? Maybe because he came into the situation and Achish is saying, look, it's their king, so he's going to kill him. Because nobody wants the king of another country hanging around. So it made him afraid when the other king thought that he was a king. All right, verse 14, Vaishano et ta'amo be'enehem, vayit holel beyadam, vaytav al daltot asha'ar, vayored riro el zkano. I got a hard one. Lishanot is to change. So he changed it. Vaishano. He changed it. His taste in their eyes. So probably meaning that he changed his appearance, his taste, his appearance. Like ta'am. Ta'am is normally the flavor of something, but it also means the sense or the interpretation of something. If I give you the flavor of a passage, I give
Even
you
like
its
a
interpretation.
decision, I think, also, right? Something like that.
From Aramaic, the M. Normally not in Hebrew.
Mm.
But I think it would mean that he changed how he looked. Vayit holel beyadam means that when he was basically under their governance because he's in their country. And the word yit holel here is related to the word holelot, from Kohelet, meaning that he acted like he was a fool. Holelot is foolishness.
Mm.
So he played the fool in their hands, meaning that he let them think that he was crazy. Vaitav, I don't know that. It looks like it's related to the word tab for a sign, symbol, but let's see. Got to get to it. Let's see. The translation says, from the beginning of the verse, he changed his behavior before them, pretended to be mad when in their presence or in their power. He scratched marks on the doors of the gates. Okay, so Vaitav is from the idea of a mark, tav is a mark. Let's see, tava. So vaitave, vaitav. It's PL. So he made marks on the doors of the gate, and he went vayored riro. Rir is normally like the drool on your mouth. So he made drool come out onto his beard.
What a picture.
Yeah. He was making them think that he was crazy.
Foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
Vayomer Akish el Avdav. Hine tiru
Not
ish.
Akish. It's not Akish. Achish. Achish.
Achish el
Yeah.
Avdav. Hine tiru ish mit mishtage. Got me. Lam
Ishtagea.
Mishtagea, yeah. Lama taviuto Eli and Akish, I'm just kidding, Akish, Achish said to his servants, "Behold, look, the man is crazy. Why did you bring him to me?"
Not why did you? Why would you? Why should you?
Oh yeah, why would you?
Why would you bring him to me?
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
I translated it as crazy. Sugar. Oh yeah, it is like Meshuggah, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Okay, it's just in the.
So the PL is to make someone crazy. Mishagea.
Mm-hmm.
The Pual is crazy. Meshuga.
Mm-hmm.
Meshuga. And the hit pa'el is to be crazy, to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mishtagea.
To become crazy.
Yeah. Okay, and we've got the last verse, verse 16.
Take it again, Colton. I skipped you 3 times.
Oh, that's true. Just kidding. Chasar meshugaim ani. Okay, try it again. Chasar meshugaim ani. Ki havetem et ze להשתגע עליי, הזה יבוא אל ביתי.
Ani was in pause, so it's actually Ani
Yes.
here instead of Ani.
That's what I
Ani.
said. Play it back.
I also heard ani.
No, play it back. You both heard wrong. Chasar. It's an imperative of some sort. No?
Chasar is chaser. It's an adjective. Lacking. Lacking of crazy men am I. Am I lacking in crazy men?
How am I supposed to know that's a question? Okay. For you've brought am I lacking in crazy man that you've brought me this one?
Yes.
Yeah. To be crazy upon me.
Yeah, to go crazy on me. Like, and
Yeah.
on me is like we say. It's like as
Yeah.
colloquially as we say it in English. He
Yeah.
went crazy on me.
Yeah. Is this why? Is this why he
Shall this
Why?
one come?
shall this one come? Okay. I was trying to do the would again, like the could. Should this one come, or would shall this one come to my house?
Mm-hmm. So look at all the uses of this this root in this chapter. There's 2 verses. It's
This
really
is
good.
good. This is fun.
Mishtagea, mishuga, and lishtagea.
Meshuggah.
Mishugana.
Swedish. A Swedish heavy metal band using a Hebrew/Yiddish slang word that they saw in a book.
Really?
For the name of their band. That's crazy.
Anyway, so that is reading of chapters 20 and 21. We finished all of 21. In the next hour, we are going to be doing grammar, covering the kal imperfect. Kal imperfect, the future tense of the kal in strong verbs. So let's move over there, and we will see you all in a few minutes. Thanks so much for being here again. Toda rabba lachem, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.